This is the Juiced Riders ODK. It's a very burly, kind of a cargo style bike with 20-inch wheels. And I have a lot to say about this. It's kind of a unique class of electric bikes, and this in particular, this model comes in like an orange, a green, and a gray, but it just looks really sharp. It's a really solid bike, and it's got a lot of great features, really well thought out. Let's jump into what makes an electric bike. The motor. What we've got up here is a 500 watt geared brushless hub motor. It's in the front, which I see a lot actually with like trikes and cargo bikes and stuff, and that kind of reduces the complexity of having a motor on the rear, and it also sort of balances out the weight of the bike, because if you've got like a food box or a baby seat or like even a pad, sometimes people can sit on the rear of the bike. That sort of kind of balances out the weight across the bike. And powering that motor is this enormous lithium-ion battery. This is 48 volt, 15 amp hour. So 48 volt. That's really strong. Most electric bikes have like a 36. Some even have 24. So 48 is like really strong. And 15 amp hours, most electric bikes have like a 10 amp hour battery, so 15, that just means it's going to take you a long way. That's basically like the capacity, like how far you can go. And it's built really solid. It's screwed right onto the frame here, and you really can't remove it very easily, so it's not designed to be like removed and charged off of the bike. And when you're ready to ride, you can see there's like a little on-off switch there. You just flick that switch, and lights up and you're ready to go. And one of the cool features about this bike is that you've got this twist throttle, and I've noticed a little bit of a delay. Like you twist it and it takes a second, and then it's like it starts pulling you. But it's actually got a really neat feature here. There's like a cruise control, so you can kind of twist that, get it to the right setting, and then instead of having your wrist there like squeezing the whole time, like twisting, you can press this little cruise button, just like a car. It's cruise control, so that's a really unique feature. You don't see that a lot. And of course, at any time, if you pull either one of these Tektro brake levers, it cuts power and resets that basically. So while we're on the topic of braking, actually, we've got a nice oversized disc on the front here, and then on the rear, they've opted just for a sort of standard V brake. And in my experience, that's provided plenty of stopping power. Do be careful though. If you're going with a heavy load and you like slammed on that front brake and you're on a wet surface, you could maybe slide out the front of the bike and lay it down. And accidents happen. So even if something like that did happen to you, they built this bike to be really solid, obviously, but then there's this nice little sort of like extra. They've got like just a little guard here, and that protects the derailleur. And in this case, it's not actually a derailleur. They've got this bike only has 3 gears, and they're built into this this nice like internally geared hub back here, and that's cool for a cargo bike where you might be stopping a lot, especially if you're a food delivery person or something, and you're having to stop. You can shift this without riding, which is really cool. So you're at a stop sign, you were in like a high gear and you're like pedaling, going fast, and now you need to shift it and make it easier to pedal. You can do that, which is super cool. You'll notice this incredibly long chain. By not having derailleur and chain rings back here and stuff, they can keep that extra tight. So there's a little bit of play, but not nearly as much as if there was like a derailleur hanging down. That keeps it nice and high off the ground, which is great because again, these are only 20-inch wheels, and so a lot of wider diameter wheels would kind of lift the bike up higher, and in this case, again, the chain kind of plays well by not having the derailleur and everything. They've got that nice chain guard, which is super cool, and again, just kind of keeping most of the components low to the ground. You got the motor really low to the ground because the bike's relatively short and squat. The battery is low to the ground, and this is great when you're riding, because you might have to step off the bike momentarily, put your foot down or whatever, and you don't want to fall on something like this, and so kind of keeping it low center of gravity, that's a really good thing. So I think the real a couple other things. Nice soft seat built in. You got the nice grips. Everything matches. Comes with a bell. Comes with fenders. You don't want to get dirty and stripes on your back when you're delivering, or whatever you're doing with this bike. It works really well just as a normal bike for someone who's a little bit larger, who wants that extra range, maybe wants that extra power that this combination is going to give you. But it's not as smooth as some other rides because of the smaller diameter wheels. They just don't absorb like the cracks and bumps quite as well. And you'll notice there's no shock or anything. So, what I would do is get one of those Cane Creek Thud Busters or something like that, put it on there, and that would really smooth it out. But just the overall weight of this bike, kind of, you've got some momentum, there's inertia, so it's not like it, I don't know, it just kind of is what it is. The tires on this are like 3 times as thick as normal bike tires, and that's meant to sort of protect it from thorns and stuff, and fairly standard in terms of electric bikes. People have slime them, and some have even like Kevlar lining or something, and these don't have that, but they are extra thick, and that's going to help. So anyway, back to the rack. The really cool thing about this rack, other than being just like super huge and awesome, they've got all these great mounting points, and it's designed, the width and everything, it works really well with like the Yep child seat that you can put on different bikes. So if you have a young child and you want to carry them around, that mounts super easy. There are kind of like those pads that you can mount on here, or those insulated boxes, that the bigger kind of like food box, which is really cool. I put some breakfast tacos in there or whatever. And then you'll notice like this is a little wider than a standard bike rack, and so it's hard to put panniers on this, but check it out, they've got this narrower one. This is more standard, and so that works. That's like perfect for a normal bike pannier. You put it on there, you can see there's another point. A lot of them have like a bungee thing that kind of like hooks in both places. There's another one here, so there's just plenty of stuff kind of blocking the tire, so you're not gonna have it rubbing. And again, just nice to have those different options. Really well thought out. This is a bike that's gone through a number of iterations and really come out with great decisions all around. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on and show you what it's like to ride. Again, I was talking about the tires earlier, but it's also got these like extra wide gauge spokes and everything. It's designed to be burly. It does that well. So here we go. Here's the kickstand. There's also an optional kickstand that's more like a motorcycle one, where it's got like 2 feet instead of just 1. And I really like these kickstands. Normally the double-legged ones kind of hang really low to the ground, they get in your way and stuff, but just where they mounted it here is nice. And even the single-side kickstand works really well. It stays out of your way. Again, you want as much clearance as you can get, and I think they optimize that here. So I'm on grass. I'm just gonna show you, even riding on the grass, like this thing just goes. So twisting. Whoa, here we go. It's just no problem, like totally taking me across the grass. I can even, if I twist it hard, I can like spin the front tire, because it's just got so much torque on that 500 watt motor and 48 volt battery. There we go. Now I'm going onto this pavement. Whoa. Okay, so that's something to notice, if you can spin out that front tire. There we go. You can see I'm up to speed. Climbing a little hill, no problem. Woo! So there you have it. I forgot to mention, they got these nice Welgo metal pedals on here, stock. That's really great, and just all around high quality on this bike. For more pictures, information, the full written review, check out ElectricBikeReview.com. We'll see you there.